all right, this is the moment we've been building toward, because now we are going to dive deeper. We're finally going to answer the question, where does the 300 year timeline begin? And this really matters for our study, because without a starting point, timeline means nothing without that point. But with a starting point to guide us, with a starting point, you can test everything. You can see if it actually works or if it falls apart. So let's go back to Daniel 9. The angel Gabriel is explaining the vision, and he gives Daniel something specific, a starting event. He says, from the going forth of the command to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. That's the key. The timeline begins with a decree, a command to rebuild the city of Jerusalem. Now here's where it gets real. This isn't symbolic, this is a historical event, something you can actually find in history. And when you look for it, there's one decree that fits perfectly. It's found in the book of Ezra, given by a Persian king named Artaxerxes. And it wasn't just permission to rebuild a wall, it was a full restoration of the city, of the system, of the people, everything. And history dates that decree to 457 BC. Now, let's pause for a moment, because this is the moment everything locks in. We now have a timeline 2,300 years and a starting point 457 BC, which means we can now follow it forward. Not guess, not assume, follow. And I have to say, this is where it really hit me. Because once you have that starting point, everything else becomes testable. Does it actually lead where it says it will? Does it point directly to the person of Jesus? Does it match the events we've already talked about? Does it match the history, or does it break under pressure? And I'll be honest, this is where I expected something to go wrong, because it feels too precise, too clean. But in the next episode, we're going to take this exact date, 457 BC, and move forward step by step. And what this timeline leads to is incredible. It is one of the most powerful confirmations in the entire Bible, because it doesn't just point generally to Jesus. It points to the exact moment he steps right into his mission. And once you see that, this stops being theory anymore and starts becoming something much harder to ignore. So before you go, think about this. If a timeline like this can be traced year by year, if the timeline fits, what does that say about the one behind it? Follow the podcast and let's take the next step.